mental issues when you are in a relationship?
I've always been scared of being reminded of the times where I was vulnerable or when I was not okay, you know.
Men are not supposed to voice out their feelings, their hurt and any of that.
If you expect me as my partner to be strong all the time, I cannot be strong all the time. Wait, there's no twee. It's Ian, Dwe, 3. Oh, you're trying to do a countdown.
Yeah.
So it's 3, 2,
and
Ian.
What's action by the
Aksani. Aksoni. Welkom en terug.
Welkom en terug van jou potjie kos.
Welkom en terug. Ek is Willem Kruiwagen.
En dit is
Marianne Dandivernel.
Markie Dandivernel by die
Caltrix Garage.
En die huisie gesteken kop en met een kop en...
You know steken is actually stabbing.
Ja.
Nee, please. Look like it nee. Anyway,
what
welcome
up,
back.
What up, guys? It is us. We're back again with another great episode. So the past 2 episodes that you have gotten from us have been vlogs, and you guys have been enjoying them so much.
You loved them.
So you love them, and we're definitely going to continue. I think if anything, we were worried with vlogs.
Yeah.
We didn't want them to be long. We didn't want people to get bored, but also there was a lot of uncertainty coming from us regarding vlogs.
Yeah.
But the reception that you guys have been giving it has just put like fire up our booties to say we can do it, we can go for it.
Yeah, and it seemed like you guys enjoyed the long vlogs. And you can also leave your comment in the section there.
Yes,
about those 2 vlogs. If you haven't seen the vlogs, maybe after this episode you must just
check them out.
Is it here? Yeah.
Is it? Somewhere
there. Yeah. Go check out the episode. The link is somewhere in front of you.
So today we decided to have a sit down and have a talk since we haven't done that in a while. Yeah. And I'm sure some of you guys could remember when we said we will touch on what is currently being faced.
Yeah. It's been in the news.
It's been making rounds and just so we thought we should just touch on mental health, mental issues, and a disclaimer: we are not professionals, we are not giving advice, we are not creating a platform of anything more but sharing our experiences, sharing how if we have been affected by certain issues that contribute mentally to not being okay. So this is just our platform. Yeah. And voicing out what we go through.
Sure. And I mean, with what happened to Rick, and may his soul rest in peace. And RIP to Dimples as well. Today's episode, or this episode, was really inspired by the events of the past month, because I know now it's been a month since Rick allegedly took his life, and then we started talking amongst ourselves, and my beautiful wife here said that we should be able to talk all the time. I think you sent me a text or something like that. Oh, in fact you called me, and then when we were together you spoke to me about it, saying that I must talk to her, I must be open with her, I must be able to voice out my frustrations, whether it's work, whether it's social, whatever it is, because now we don't want this stigma to be always hanging. Men should be strong, you know. Yes, men should be strong because they're the head of the family, but they've also got feelings, just like the neck of the family. You know what I mean? So that's why we are having this episode, and we just want to unpack and just share a first-hand experience with our relationships. I
think for me, the biggest thing to even touch on is,
Yeah.
yes, there has been a huge stigma about men are supposed to be strong, men are not supposed to voice out their feelings, they hurt, and any of that.
Yeah.
But I think this stems back to our parents, our great grandparents, because even just being black is hard enough, because you're not supposed to have depression.
You're not supposed to voice out your opinions.
You're not supposed to voice out your opinions. You always have to be strong. If you're not okay, put all that energy into doing something productive. You know, which is difficult, honestly, given the time and age that we live in currently. So I think for me, you as a man, what I want to know from you is, have you been in a space where you felt like you can share about what you go through?
Okay. In a relationship, right?
Not just in relationship.
Not really.
Not really.
And I must be honest, not really.
And why is that?
Because we were just conditioned. Even when I grew up, I was just conditioned from at a young age. Number one, I've never seen my dad cry.
Okay.
So I'm not saying he should have cried, but I'm saying I never saw him cry. I never saw him in a bad kind of feeling, but I could tell.
Weakish.
Weakish, but I could tell he's not in a good mood.
Okay.
I could tell he's angry. I could tell he's happy.
Okay.
But I couldn't tell whether he was being vulnerable to us as his family, his immediate family, whether it be my mom, my siblings, or other extended family members, that I can tell, sorry, this man is not okay and he's sharing with us.
Okay.
So that sort of became the norm or the standard, to say you don't cry. Even when someone close to you passes on, the first thing that people are going to tell you, be strong. You know, sometimes I'm not going to blame people that say that all the time, because sometimes you find that someone is saying to you, be strong, but they don't think about what the actual meaning of the word is. It's just the habit of people knowing that you're just supposed to tell someone, be strong, my condolences, we love you, if you need anything, we are here. But you don't think about, if you are telling me to be strong, are you indirectly telling me to suppress my feelings and act like I'm strong when I know I'm not strong?
When you know you're not strong.
You know, you can attest to this. I'm a very expressive person with regards to voicing out opinions, voicing out my feelings, but also that I have a limit, because I wouldn't want to be looked at as frowned upon as weak, or someone labeling me weak, because if I cry then someone will say I'm weak. But I've taught myself that I am not supernatural. I am human. If you expect me as my partner to be strong all the time, I cannot be strong all the time, because there will come a time where I need you to be strong for me.
Of course.
And by that I mean I'll need your support. If you can tell that I'm not coping, then you the one who needs to take the baton and be strong.
Yeah.
Because as a young boy, if you come back about or something bad happened, or you know you had an altercation with someone, whether it's a boy or a girl, you come back as a little boy, you are told, go back, go fight for yourself, or why you crying, you're showing signs of being weak. And older people didn't like that, you know. So that's why I think most men out there, and I'm not speaking on behalf of all men, but that's why I think most men out there suppress their feelings, and once this thing bubbles up, it becomes this one huge thing. The day someone gets angry, either they're going to do something that cannot be reversed, cannot be apologized for, or cannot be like, you can't undo it at all. You can't do any good afterwards. So that's why a lot of people like that, either if they don't do something like that, they're going to take their life, because we don't expect people to be weak. That's why when someone passes on, the first thing we say, but he's got his thing going together, or he's got us.
Yeah, he's got money.
He's got money, just like in the case. I saw a couple of tweets, you know. even when we discuss the recurring passing, most of the people are saying,
He's got it all.
He's got it all. He's got
house,
beautiful
beautiful
kids,
family.
beautiful family. You know?
Yes, but the demons that a person is chasing are never known except by that person.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I don't know if you have shared, but I'm sure on your platform you have shared maybe about you going to therapy.
Oh yeah, I have. Well, it was a campaign. To be honest with you, if it was not a campaign, I wasn't gonna open up like that.
Were you not?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna open up like that because obviously now I'm sharing the deep ends of my personal life, and obviously what you're seeing on social media, what you're seeing on YouTube, is what we want you to see. So, yeah, I have shared my experiences with going to therapy. There was a time where everything in my life, and when I say everything, obviously I might just be exaggerating, but things were going south.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go into details, but 2018 was a very dark year for me. That's also the year my dad passed on. So I did share my experiences, but I've shared this with you mostly. So after my trauma, or when I felt like the weight on my shoulders was too much to handle, actually I'm not the one who actually saw that I'm not okay. It was my HR at work. And funny enough, I wasn't always at the office because of the work I was doing that time and now. But the only time she saw me was that time. And then she said to me, please come to my office. And I went to her office. Her name is Christel Kuhn. And then we sat down in her office, and then she asked me what's wrong. And before I could say anything, I just broke down, like in pieces, like I broke down. And days leading up to that, Vanity was still around in Groenkloof and Brooklyn side. I cried in the middle of a club. I think it was like 3 a.m. I cried like a little girl. And I think one bouncer saw me, and then he came, and then we went to the bathroom, and eventually in the kitchen because I knew the people there. And then I just couldn't understand why I was crying anymore, because it was just too much. And I was expected to be okay, and with the line of work that I was doing at the time, I was the party starter. We used to sell happiness to people, and now I'm the person who is desperate for happiness, but it's not there. So I started going to therapy with the help of obviously my employer, and then I took some time off, and then I opened up. I wasn't a person who really believed in therapy online, and I think, and I'm like I said, I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody, but it might just be a black thing where therapy, it's not really our thing, but I think it needs to start being our thing. Because it helped me a lot. And even when we rekindled, you and I, weeks before that, I was going to therapy because there was just a lot in my mind that I felt I need to express and let go, and just like speak about everything and open up space and just sort of empty my cup. So new stuff can be filled into my cup, and first the smell of coffee.
I think also, if anything, and I'm taking it from my experience, I come from a home where we've always been strong.
Okay.
We've always had strong characters where we don't necessarily break down. I think I remember sharing with you that hugs were foreign.
You actually
Hugs were
told me.
foreign. And it goes back to even my grandparents, where my grandmother, every time you'd want to give her a hug, she would be uncomfortable.
Because it's not something
It's not something that she's used to or she knows, but also it's showing emotion, and it's a part of her that was never there. And because of that, it also came into our household, where my mom was also, she just didn't know because of how she was raised, so
for her it was normal.
It was normal,
Yeah.
So even with obviously going to school to learning all these things about emotions, I started seeing that actually I have a whole lot of emotions inside of me, but I still can't show it. I'm not comfortable. If I'm crying, I'm gonna cry behind closed doors, because how is my mother going to look at me and be like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
You're probably gonna be told what they
by obviously. So you being a baby, come on, suck it up. But with the passing of my dad, which was so traumatic for all of us, it got to a point where the whole household was not okay. And I said, oh, actually, it was a nurse from our medical aid who was in contact with my mom and brought up seeing a psychologist for the whole family, you know. And we went there, and in going there, I realized that what stops us is the fact that we're not learning. You know, with everything is going to be new. Anything uncomfortable, it's not going to be easy to start. But it's the willingness of yourself and whoever is a part of your life to say, you know what, I'm willing to give this a try. If from my part, I'm a very emotional person and my mother is not, it is up to me to try, at least to try to educate my mother, to say, you know what, Mom, this is how things were done, but this is how I'm doing things, and I want you to know.
Piece by piece.
Yes, piece by piece, a little by little. Now I can tell you that my mom will just come and sit on the bed with me and we'll have conversation. It's hugs, it's emotion, it's crying, it's tears. She even shares with me when she's not okay, you know, which I never thought we would get. But I
think if I may come in there, time and again, you might see, and this happens with me as well, you might see signs of the old me creeping in that doesn't want therapy, that wants to be strong. Even on your side, you might see the old side of your mom that says, we don't do those things here, we are strong. Because remember, someone learned over a long period of time. You can't just change just like that. Yes, you can be the beacon of hope that gives them the light to say, no, but we're moving in this direction now. But one thing for sure is that therapy does help. And it's not something that people should look at it as something that because this is something that is popular in black people. I say that thing. It does really help, and it has helped some of us.
And with that as well, I know there are people who are not open to talking. But there's therapeutic activities, so many things that could help express what you're feeling inside, you know. There are certain people who will take up running. There are certain people who will take up writing. Certain people will express through music or whatever it is that's out there. So it's not just about you sitting down with somebody and talking. I think to get to that point where you can talk, find a way to relieve, so that when you're comfortable enough and you feel like, okay, I can sit down and talk to somebody, then that can happen, you know.
And I think it also happens that some people go to therapy once. Say, nah, this is not for me. Because I mean, you could have easily gotten a psychologist that you don't really get along with. Like you feel like your message is not getting across, or they're not a sponge. They want to tell you how you are, but at the time you just need to express yourself. Because I also heard, I think somewhere on TV, some celebrity was saying that they believe in changing the psychologist time and again. Because if they keep going to the same person knows that Kia is gonna come with this story, or you are starting again with your things. That time it might be a very bad wound, you know, that needs to be healed in a form of therapy. But because you've been going to the same person, or you've been talking to someone, just like with friends, I mean, if you keep telling your friends the same thing, one friend, the next time you feel like, this one, let me not even call.
I'm gonna start becoming a nuisance to that person. I think also what I wanted to touch on was mental issues when you are in a relationship, whether it be dating, whether it be marriage. This is not just for you, but also you guys. I think you can leave a comment on how the space has been between you and your partner, or even your friend. How the space has been in a matter of, have you been able to sit down and talk to the person that you're not okay? Or are you expected to have a certain level of facade to say, you know what, I'm just going to keep strong, keep at it without showing my partner because of whatever reason? So how has it been for you and you guys as well?
Okay, for me, I must be honest, I I've always been scared of being reminded of the times where I was vulnerable, you know, or when I was not okay, you know. So instead of me sharing with you as my partner, and I'm just speaking this in general terms, but in general experience that I've had, you know, even in past relationships that I've heard, I've always tried so much to shy away from expressing my feelings, especially when I'm vulnerable, you know, because one thing it gets habanga lo nabasadi, which is not all women, but some people have a tendency of, we are fighting, we're not okay in our relationship, and then someone is going to come back and say, meant to remind you of the times when you were weak, or when you were vulnerable, or you're not okay.
You're not a man.
You're not a man.
You're not a man enough.
Yeah, remember, so and so slapped you across the face when we were at this place. You know?
And you just didn't fight.
And you didn't fight back. You know, I mean, those are some of the things that do happen to other people, and men decide to suppress their feelings because they feel that if they express themselves in that moment, then one day you might just ask me, you might just say to me, when you don't tell me anything, we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. That's why men decide, you know what, I'd rather go speak to my friends, I'd rather go speak to a family member than speak to you. The next thing, when I'm taking out all my frustrations on you, but because I'm not telling you what's wrong with me, you'll be surprised and you start thinking, he's changed, he's acting weird, what's going on? Whereas it's something that we could have discussed in our relationship or in our home, but we can't do that because I'm scared that my vulnerability, or me showing my vulnerability, will end up having you remind me of the bad times that I've had in my life. I almost gave an example, but all I'm trying to say is,
an example of what?
Of when I was sort of like reminded of, you know. So I'll tell you this off camera. So it's quite, remember, we've got a lot of big egos, you know. So we're not saying our egos must be massaged all the time, but also make it more comfortable for me to trust you enough to know that even if I tell you something in confidence, knowing that you are my partner, whether we are married, whether rajola, whether whatever the case may be, you will be listening to me because you care, not because you are collecting ammunition to use against me in the future. But so far, you have assured me that I can talk to you and I can be as vulnerable as possible with you, and you will not judge me the way I deliver whatever might be troubled me. Because had you not said that, I really do not know if it would have been something that I would have been easy to come to you and explain to you, you know. But personally, from you, I've seen the soft side of you, and I've seen the hard side of you, and I've seen the empathetic side of you, where I feel that if I've got a problem that I cannot solve with a friend, with a parent, or with a family member, I know you are my first stop, you know, before I even go out to other people. So I would like to thank you for that, because I think I'm lucky enough that most men, or most guys out there, some of them are struggling to just pull through on the other side, or just cross that bridge of saying, you know what, I'm in a situation where I can be vulnerable with my partner, I can be weak in front of them, I can cry in front of them, I can cry about my things, I can voice out my frustrations, and I know they will take it like a sponge and listen to me and then give me sensible ideas. And I'd like to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Sure.
I think for me, just to sum everything up,
with
whether it be a friend, whether it be yourself, whether it be your partner, I think ultimately, above all, create a safe space. I always, like, if there's a word that I could get paid for, it would be safe space.
Yeah, I hear that more than anything from you.
Because when you know that you have a space where you're safe, you are able to be yourself, you're able to be vulnerable, knowing that I am there to catch you, I am there to hold you, I am there to provide if you are at a point where you can't, you know. Like you said, when you're not okay, you should know well enough that, okay, I'm not okay, but if I come to Gia, I know that she's got us for that day because I'm not okay. You know?
So
I like
that, actually.
Yeah, so a safe space is what I always try to create, even for myself at times, because we tend to be very harsh on ourselves as individuals. We tend to judge ourselves too harshly, even when things don't go wrong, instead of saying, okay, but what right did I do today? What did I get okay today? We always just jump to the negative stuff, you know, which will always have a bad impact on us. So create a safe space, look yourself in the mirror, just smile at yourself.
And be easy on yourself.
Be easy, man. Be easy, because the world already is hard enough on its own, and for you to be hard on yourself as well is not going to do anything.
Just be easy, be kind to yourself, because you might walk out the door and someone might just take out all their frustrations on you,
and that might just be your breaking point.
And you don't know also, Lebona, if
what they're going through.
They could be carrying a very large burden that you can't even lift a kilogram of, you know. So also be nice to people.
Be kind, guys.
Just be kind to people. Whatever you say, especially on social media, trying to make fun of someone, trying to
bullying,
trying to be popular because you've got the best clapbacks, or you're telling people nonsense just because we've got a contest of trying to prove who's the meanest, you know. We need to leave that, because people are genuinely carrying burden, and the world is hard enough on its own. Someone comes to social media maybe to distress, or to read comments, or to freaking catch up on you.
Just pile up on everything.
At the end of the day, it's someone behind that account. It's not a bot. It's someone who's got feelings, who's got real feelings. And this also includes celebrities. These people are not superhuman.
No.
They're not made from a different kind of I don't know, of image of God. They're not a different kind of God. No, it's not like that. So try by all means to be easy on yourself, and be kind to people, be kind to yourself, and remember to live life to the fullest, because this is not a rehearsal.
Yep, and there is always somebody out there for you.
Sure.
But from our side, we just wanted to touch on that lightly. But thank you to all our subscribers. Thank you for all the likes, for all the comments, for always engaging with our content. We truly appreciate it, and we love you guys so much. But this is just us touching on this. Tell us what you think about it. Maybe we'll make it a kind of a segment where we go into mental
or into the deep stuff
on the deep side.
Remember, we did say that we wanna start that segment of ironing it out.
Literally,
we'll be literally ironing and talking about the deep stuff. So we'll be ironing it out. So I also appreciate the love and all the positive energy that we get from you guys. It keeps us going, and also this channel, I must say that it keeps us together, because we get to spend more time together talking about real stuff, or playing games, or Q&As, whatever the case may be, which I personally feel that if it wasn't for the channel, we will still be doing that, but not as much. And we wouldn't continue to do this if it wasn't for your eyes and ears. So thank you so much for that. And also,
I'm sure you can hear that our sound is amazing.
Yeah, so we're moving up.
We're moving up, people.
Moving up. We got a new camera, new equipment. So we're thinking of a podcast as well. Totally different segment. We're going to be discussing different kind of things, but you'll get to hear about that later. For now, thank you so much. Remember to follow us. Like, comment,
Valencia.
Yeah, you say it.
Gift underscore Makoti, or gift Makoti underscore.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
It's gift underscore Makoti.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Alright, but from our side, we're giving you all our love, and we will see you on our next episode.
The next episode might be a vlog, right? The surprise?
Maybe.
No? Maybe, but we'll see.
Or maybe we might just be revealing some big news.
Haha. Did you just? Yeah, but yeah, it might just be.
Guys.
Whatever it is. Cheers. We love you. Welcome and cheers.
Oh my God.
Well done, buddy.